Hello, you lovely people. No respawns here. Hope you are doing well. So I have built up the Signal Interceptor for the quest, which sends me off to the Institute. I didn't do a build video for this one just because structurally this took absolutely ages, but it wasn't the most interesting thing in terms of like the technique of what I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you guys a slow tour, and then I'm just going to go through. I'm going to basically retroactively tell you what I did, because I think that's probably better than me spending an hour and a half building up all the structural elements. I really like how this turned out. I had a vision while I was wandering and ambling around over the weekend, with like the idea of I wanted it to look like a claw. I liked the idea of these kind of larger walls being pylons, basically. The idea being that it's kind of in some way focusing the signal and kind of helping augment it, but also adds a little bit of structural and protective elements too. It looks really, really cool. I also mixed in, as you can see, I really tried to play around with some of the wall textures. So in the USO mod, you've got some the retextured metal walls, and I've wanted to use them for ages, but I was worried they'd clash, but they kind of really work with this. It's really, really large as well. I actually did a video on this, like a Signal Interceptor video, back in 2017. I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was more recent, and it was a lot more of a humble build, shall we say. I was still using mods, but not as robust as this one, but it's turned out very well. I deliberately did it in the evening just because the lighting is a bit better as well. Oh, it looks so good. I must admit, I did get a little bit bored with the junk. I was like, I don't know what to put in here. So, some of the junk doesn't make any sense. Why is there a clothes washer there? Who knows? But it looks cool. Looks neat. I want to show you my favourite bit. To the point where it's probably going to be the thumbnail. This bit. I like the way that pokes through that hole there and is lit up. It just looks so neat. We've got the little terminal here. I haven't actually powered it on yet, as you can see, otherwise it will be glowing like crazy. The reason for that is because I actually have the actual one. Because obviously the one you use gets destroyed, so I've got it over here. And it also stops those guys wandering around. But yeah, so let me kind of go over what I did and kind of the structural elements, and also as it gets darker, it should hopefully pop with the light, because I've got loads of little spotlights and everything like that. So what I did is I put foundations on the floor. To be honest, you could probably get away with not doing that. Originally, I sort of changed my plan halfway through, and originally I was going to have it with the foundations, sort of the wooden ones, just on the exterior of the house that was there. And eventually I was like, actually, I want to kind of put these little half-wall structures that I like to build on the outside instead. And I think it looks really, really cool. And then with these bigger walls, if you've ever seen them, they're very, very prominent in the raider camps that you see dotted across the map. I wanted them spread out. So they look like kind of fingers, or as I said, pylons, and kind of sticking out, and then with the kind of half-size walls around them, and I think it looks really cool. When I initially did it, it was a little bit structurally bland, and that's why I was really worried. I was like, oh no, but it worked out after lots of decoration. Now, the hardest bit was actually putting in the actual main component here. And the reason being is because it's on a concrete foundation, it wouldn't let me just place it down, plop it down like that. So what I did is I removed the floor to here, and then I basically placed and built it with the platform and the big like main tower bit, and then just pillar glitched it in, which gave me a lot more flexibility. So if you are struggling to put that down on a hard surface, that's what you do. These pieces here actually kind of a homage to how I did it last time with these two barricade walkways. And basically the one I did back in 2017, I used those, and they were kind of the main structural elements. So I still wanted to use those because they do kind of add a sense of verticality. And I like the idea that, you know, you would want to be kind of looking over it, and also it gives an extra bit of height to this, which is cool. But yeah, no, really, really enjoyed making this. Also, on the floor, as you can see, I've got so these are actually retextured. They're all in the USO mod. If you go to the floors, there's a retextured version. Oh, no, it's not in the floors, it's in the rugs, rather. These are retextured rugs. So if you go to the USO mod, into decorations, you go to rugs, there's retextured versions, and it just obviously looks like really big pieces of corrugated steel. And then I also added a few little bits and pieces. Are very important unless you want certain certain floor pieces to sink or kind of texture flashing. What I ended up doing was plopping down a load of invisible rugs all over here, so that way it kind of lifts them off the ground just a slight so they don't sink in. But yeah, I think it looks really, really cool. The lighting's starting to pop now as well. I really like the glow. I'm a little bit concerned doing the quest that I might have to take this down and then move it over there and then move it back, but to be honest, it shouldn't be too hard to sort of glitch that in. But anywho, hope it gave you a few ideas. As I said, I was going to do the full build beforehand, but it ended up being like nearly 30 minutes long, and I was like, no, absolutely not. So yeah, as always, follow me on the socials, Blue Sky, Instagram, and whatever else I end up putting in the description when you watch this video. I will have a stream up, I'm thinking this Saturday, in fact, because I managed to move some days around, so we'll be playing a little bit more Fallout. And yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll speak to you absolutely lovely bunch of glorious reprobates soon. You take care.